Hi, and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by Xion from the Kingdom Hearts series. I fell in love with Kingdom Hearts when I was a kid from first playing Kingdom Hearts 2, as a lot of others did. At the time, my siblings and I loved the game, but none of us were very in the know on games. We had only played 2 when we were kids, and so we understood why we were kind of out of the loop on everything story-wise that had happened in Kingdom Hearts 1. My love for Kingdom Hearts and video games in general started after I played Kingdom Hearts 2, but we were slightly limited on the consoles and games we would play. Of course, because if you wanted a new game or especially console as a kid, you would have to save up a lot of your money for it. So I kinda just replayed Kingdom Hearts 2 for the majority of my younger life, and I was totally happy. But once I became closer to adulthood, I realized that I was indeed becoming an adult and making my own money, and so I could buy more games. All of that to say that I started researching Kingdom Hearts a lot to find out what consoles and games I needed to get. It's an understatement to say how surprised I was to find out that there wasn't just Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and eventually 3, but there were so many titles I had no idea about. I remember seeing a lot of pictures of different characters together, like Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, and Naminé and Sora, and Naminé and Riku, and everything seemed normal. But then I saw pictures of Roxas and Axel chatting and laughing together, but they were with someone else I had never seen before. It looked like all 3 of them were best friends, and I was so confused. Who is this third character that seems to be best friends with Axel and Roxas, but I've never even seen her before? Shouldn't I know about her? Finally learning about Xion's role in the story was tragic. The thought of living your life and then everyone forgetting that you ever existed is terrifying. The sadness of Xion is truly one of the more powerful story arcs of the series. Just like all of the other nobodies of Organization 13, she just wanted to be her own person, and I'm so happy that she finally has that. When thinking of a dish for Xion, I was between doing something based on sticks due to her Roxas, that's a stick line, and sea salt ice cream. I ended up going with sea salt ice cream for it being such an iconic dish, not only for the 358 over 2 days trio, but for the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole. So I was inspired by sea salt ice cream, but I didn't want to just make sea salt ice cream because so many other awesome creators have made it already. I imagine that Xion would love to bake and would really love cookies for how easy they are to make and how easy they are to give to others, so we're making sea salt caramel ice cream cookies. Here's the ingredients we'll need to make them. Melted unsalted butter, granulated sugar, light brown sugar, sea salt caramel ice cream, 1 large egg, vanilla extract, baking soda, salt, all-purpose flour, dark chocolate chips, and white chocolate chips. This recipe will make you about 24 cookies, and even though we're using sea salt caramel ice cream, you can use any ice cream flavor of your choice if you're making your own. We'll start out by melting a half cup of unsalted butter. After melting the butter, pour the butter into the bowl of a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. You can also mix all of these ingredients in a separate bowl if you don't have a stand mixer. Now, while the butter is still warm, we're going to also add in a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and a 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. We'll mix everything on low speed until everything is well combined, which shouldn't take too long at all. We're then going to add our sea salt caramel ice cream to the bowl. We need about a 1/2 cup of the ice cream, and it should be solid but still soft. We can then add the ice cream into the bowl and mix everything again until smooth. Next, we'll add in 1 large egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix for just a few seconds before adding in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We'll mix everything again until smooth. We'll then slowly and gradually add in 2 cups of all-purpose flour and mix until everything is combined, but avoid overmixing. Just mix until there are no longer any dry clumps of flour. We can then add in some of the good stuff. We'll toss in 1 cup of dark chocolate chips and 1 cup of white chocolate chips. Fold everything together with a rubber spatula until the chocolate chips are well dispersed in the cookie dough. From here, we'll grab a cookie sheet and line it with parchment paper. With a scoop or your hands, roll out balls of cookie dough that are about 2 tablespoons in size. This should make about 24 cookies, give or take. As you roll out the dough, place it onto the cookie sheet. You don't need to worry about spacing them out as they aren't going in the oven yet, so they can be nestled closely together. Once you have all of your cookie dough balls, cover the cookie sheet in plastic wrap and then place into your fridge to chill. The dough needs to chill for at least 30 minutes before baking, but you can absolutely chill even longer. Once you're ready to get baking, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You can either bake in about 2 batches or line 2 cookie sheets with parchment paper. You'll then want to place the dough balls onto the parchment paper in preparation for baking, but make sure that they're all about 2 inches apart from each other so they don't spread and meld into one another. We can then pop our cookies into the oven to bake for about 9 to 13 minutes. The edges of the cookies should be starting to get golden brown. Let the cookies cool slightly on their cookie sheets before transferring to a cooling rack. One thing I didn't think about adding until after baking was flaky sea salt. The next time I make these cookies, I will definitely make sure I do so. So I definitely recommend that you sprinkle some flaky sea salt to the tops of the cookies as soon as you remove them from the oven for a little extra something special. Either way, once the cookies have cooled, you're all ready to dig in. Like with most cookies, these are relatively simple to make, but they're so worth it. These cookies have such a rich taste due to the sea salt caramel ice cream, and they have such a wonderful soft and chewy texture. Of course, the abundance of light and dark chocolate chips not only represent the nothingness of nobodies, but also bring an ooey-gooey decadence to the cookies that is addictive. It's definitely hard to stop at just one cookie, and if you're anything like my household, these cookies won't last long, even though 24 cookies seems like quite a bit. I also love the ability to customize these cookies with any ice cream of your choice, as I'm sure there's loads of amazing cookie combinations just waiting to be discovered. It's sweet, but kinda salty too. Xion said it about sea salt ice cream the first time she tried it, and I picture her saying the same exact thing once trying these cookies for the first time. Such a fun treat to make that is sure to impress her sweet-loving friends Roxas and Axel. Since Kingdom Hearts 3, Xion's friend group has grown exponentially. She went from being completely forgotten to being hard to forget by such a large handful of people. I can see Xion loving to bake but not having the most self-confidence in her ability, as she's still so not used to having so many people acknowledge her. She'd be a little nervous to share her treats to everyone, but would feel such joy once everyone smiled and said, "Xion, these are amazing." Sure, she was more than willing to sacrifice herself to save Sora and the others, but she has to admit that being acknowledged and appreciated definitely takes the cake. Or the cookies. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what food Xion reminds you of. Thanks for following along.